Welcome back. You're watching the Press Club. My guest this evening, Corporal Zachary Hippolyte of the Police Press Relations Office. Before the break, we were talking about sometimes how the lack of information or silence from the police or from anybody from that matter, I guess public officials generally, can lead to anxiety, misinformation, anger even from the public as well as the media who think you're not acting quickly enough. I want us to talk a little bit about some of the coverage that's been given to this Milan Ferdinand case. The headline story in the Voice newspaper, two held in death of boy. You make reference to some of the stuff that's being said on social media. It's also hinted at in this story.
Yes.
Some of the threats that are being made. Can the police act on those posts as well?
Well, yes, there's particular legislation. I remember earlier this year, the Office of the Director of the Public Prosecutions contacted the Royal Central Police Force, and then they wanted us to make a particular reference to a citation of law in the criminal code that speaks to the conduct of the media in releasing certain information that could have an impact on an ongoing investigation, and also ultimately in the courts, you know. So, and we did that, and you know, there was some reaction from certain media houses because they believe that it is bordering on the constitutional right to know, or not just know, but to inform the nation as to exactly what's going on. But we need to be okay with the laws. We need to understand that, yes, definitely, the media has its role. Because persons want to know. Like I said, we're in the information age where everyone wants to know everything that's going on. But we have to be careful, because the media is the catalyst and the medium through which people get the information, whether it is good information or information that doesn't have much weight. But whatever you put out there can influence. Remember, a jury. The jury is your peers. It's part of the society, the people that we are. And you would like our panelists, our jurors, to be that of a team consisting of persons who are impartial and not influenced by what they have read, seen, or heard. It is a balancing act, especially when you look at a small country like St. Lucia, unlike when you look at the United States and the bigger countries where probably you might have such a wide topography, a wide country or particular place that you could pick citizens or individuals from one section of the country to be jurors on an incident that happened millions of miles away, but they still belong to the same country.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they don't come in there with their own ideologies, philosophies, you know, or ideas about certain crimes or how certain crimes should be dealt with, or that sort of thing.
Of course they will, but when you look at particular information that
relating specifically to the case, right?
To the case.
And that's what you want to avoid.
That's what we want to avoid.
Now, in terms of coverage of crime and courts, are there rules governing, for instance, the coverage of criminal proceedings? We were talking last couple of shows with Earl and myself about an incident with Miguel Fevrier, where the prisoner spat at him. Should the media have been even that close to the gentleman?
And this is some of this topic is also part of what we want to discuss
at that meeting.
At that very meeting. I believe, in my opinion, we need to develop SOPs, standing operating procedures. Hence the reason why at that meeting we're going to bring all these issues to the table, and we're going to have cordial conversation as to what we think is best. Because at the end of the day, we do not want this happening, where our media personnel, our reporters, are being attacked by an individual that, you know, that reference to a story that they're covering. So what would work best? What should there be a particular how would I say that, distance that a reporter could get to an individual that is being escorted by the police?
Yeah, but forget about the media for a second, because my concern here too was if the media could have gotten that close to the gentleman, couldn't somebody who was related to or allied to the victim in this case, intending to exact some sort of vengeance, just as easily done it?
Yes, and this is definitely a concern of the executive. This is a concern of the Royal Seneschal Police Force. We were just speaking about media relations, but yes, definitely after this incident, the executive has taken into consideration certain procedures, okay, that need to be put in place, because just like you said, Kendall, this crossed our mind. Okay, if the media can get that close, okay, can turn another individual, okay, should that particular individual in this case, should he have been handcuffed? Okay, should there have been more police escort with him? Okay, all these little situations, and that's the thing I like about us human beings, you know, because we've heard it before. A person saying that it's only when something happened that is when we react, or that's when we put things in place. But yes, it's when something happened, you have to react and put something in place, because of the nature of humans. This is how we learn. This is how we learn. You cannot predict everything that's going to happen.
I want to shift focus to the Star newspapers. Today's report, the headline, Impacts, Police Moles Targeted. And on page 6.
Police moles. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's the usual lengthy preamble by Mr. Wayne in this story, only to point to a conversation between the acting commissioner and a high-ranking police officer, suggesting that there are other officers who might be targeting him because he was a snitch in terms of the information given to the Impacts investigators. But I want to hone in on a couple paragraphs here in the preamble, where he talks about a statement made by the Prime Minister in 2003, and I'm quoting here. It says, a survey of residents across the country revealed that 70% of the St. Lucian population are not satisfied with the performance of the police. He said the lack of confidence in the police was especially evident in his constituency, Vieux-Fort, and in Castries. The lower paragraph says, if the allegations are true, the Prime Minister conjectured at the 30th of January 2003 launching of a nationwide survey on fear of crime and community policing in St. Lucia, it confirms the view of the public that there is widespread corruption in the police force. I want to shift focus here to public perception of policing, the police force, police officers, and how the media is contributing to that perception. How is it affecting the police? Do the police themselves conduct any surveys to find out what the public perception of them is? We were talking about the case in Montana, and I read interestingly that despite all of the tension that's been existing between the police and the citizenry in the United States, the latest survey suggests that there's an 80% confidence in police officers across the United States. But unfortunately, that sort of public confidence is not being transferred or felt by the police officers, who feel largely unappreciated, who feel targeted by the public. And there's concern about the tension that is going to create because of this misconception on both sides. Are we in danger of seeing a similar situation developing here? A question I want to pose to you when we come back with you for another break.
Okay.
All right, you're watching The Press Club. We'll be right back.